Plasma is basically a new, more efficient way to move money globally.
Stablecoins and the chains that they're built on are one of the biggest opportunities in crypto.
Plasma is a blockchain specifically built for stablecoins.
And while today the market size is around $290 billion, that is nothing compared to the multi-trillions that is projected in just the next few years.
How much this industry, which is currently 250 billion stablecoins, that is 250 billion, will grow to 2 trillion in the next few years.
Even Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says expect the stablecoin market to go much higher.
And I think that 2 trillion is a very reasonable number, and I could see it greatly exceeding that.
And I've been talking about Plasma a lot recently. I brought them on as a sponsor of the channel. They're also backed by the CEO of Tether. And I think there's opportunity here, so let me take the next few minutes and explain why.
Why does the world need Plasma?
Plasma is stablecoin infrastructure, meaning while Ethereum, Solana, Tron, they are general purpose blockchains, meaning they need to do a lot of things for a lot of different use cases. Plasma is meant to do one thing really, really well. Plasma is a purpose-built blockchain for stablecoins. In other words, it's a layer 1 blockchain architected for global scale. And think of them sort of like the AWS of stablecoins, meaning infrastructure for the digital dollar economy, sort of like maybe what XRP was supposed to be, or at least what XRP is still trying to become. More on this later. We'll review Plasma's XPL token. But I loved this breakdown on the When Shift Happens podcast with co-founder of Plasma. Just listen.
Why does the world need Plasma?
You can make very different choices if you only focus on stablecoins specifically, and you basically only care about stablecoins in both tech architecture of the chain, in go-to-market, in strategy, in like liquidity and incentives, all of that. If you only gear all of that towards stablecoins, you have a massive edge against fully generalized chains.
So you're saying that Solana and Ethereum and all these chains basically are not it, and we need another one whose only purpose is to make stablecoin better.
This is not an argument meaning that like Solana won't win or Ethereum won't win. I think like that is fully separate. I think on the like specific like stablecoins at scale use case, we can do a better job than any of them, given that we don't have to care about anything else.
And let's just be very honest here. Ethereum right now is dominating the stablecoin market. You cannot hope to compete if you're not compatible, considering that's where the liquidity is. So again, I'm just pointing out things that drew me to this project, things that I like. EVM compatibility. Plasma allows seamless deployment of Ethereum-based contracts, no code modifications needed. So it's compatible with ETH.
I mean, we made the very conscious choice to be fully EVM compliant and compatible, and that makes it so much easier to just integrate Plasma into kind of existing workflows, right? Because you don't need to build an entire new tech stack, but you can use all of the dev tooling that exists for kind of the EVM itself, and you just have a 100x harder job if you have some like custom VM that doesn't have good tooling around it.
So EVM compatible, I like. Obviously very fast, 1,000 plus transactions per second, less than 1 second block times. But something that's really interesting is $0 USDT transfer fees. USDT obviously means Tether. Tether, obviously the number 1 stablecoin globally, and they're offering 0 fees. That should onboard some really big money. How does that work? Yes, I understand that the CEO of Tether is a big backer. He says, I believe in Plasma. In a direct quote, with strong growth in both supply and users, we are entering a new phase of mainstream adoption for stablecoins. To meet this challenge, it's more important than ever to have secure, decentralized, and scalable infrastructure in place. Plasma is designed to provide these essential rails. From the CEO of Tether, I also know Plasma is backed by Founders Fund. That's big. And while some people call Plasma the Tether chain, with literally 0 fees for USDT transfers, how does that work? Wouldn't there be endless spam on the network, or how do they do this?
how do we get free USD transfers? How does that work in practice? Who pays for the transactions?
Yeah.
It's free.
I mean, in the end, as you said, I think fast and cheap is a requirement, but very much not a right to win. Well, like it's you definitely lose if you're slow and expensive. You don't definitely win if you are fast and cheap. And for us, having this gasless transfers of USDT, I think unlocks actual kind of net new use cases that would be priced out otherwise. And we achieve that by basically having a split block architecture where part of the block is reserved for just USDT transfers. And we, I mean, the foundation is going to run validators for that, and anyone can. The biggest issue you have obviously is protecting against spam. Well, like if you have zero guardrails in place, then anyone can just send 17 million USDT transfers a second, and clog up the entire chain forever. And so we're enforcing a minimum balance to do that, and there's going to be some kind of whitelisting implemented there to kind of ensure against spam resistance. And it's also something that's like going to be a very iterative process. I think the V1 is not going to be the single best solution. I think it's going to be a step in the right direction.
And here's where we stand today. Plasma is live. The XPL token is live. They launched with over $1 billion in stablecoin TVL. I believe the fastest to ever do it. The fastest blockchain in history. They were 7x oversubscribed from what they expected for XPL. And week after week, Plasma's TVL keeps climbing. Today it sits at 2.7 billion, sliding into the top 8 and overtaking Hyperliquid. And if you believe the stablecoin market is only getting bigger into 2030, and if, like the Tether CEO, you believe Plasma will do well, then XPL is something you want to keep on your radar, in my opinion. By the way, they have over 15 plus supported stablecoins, over 50 plus partnerships. Always more we could get into. I personally believe that this market will get into the 2 trillions, will get into the 3, and then eventually 10 trillions over the next 10 years. And I do think Ethereum is going to keep getting a lot of liquidity. Ethereum will get better, but they will lose market share at the same time, if that makes sense. Ethereum will keep winning. They will maybe go up slower than the rate that they've been growing thus far, because Ethereum was the first kid in town. He's been here forever. He has the majority of the liquidity. And I think it will get usurped by chains that are offering more. Just my opinion. Obviously, we see that Ethereum, Tron, Solana, Binance Smart Chain, Hyperliquid, top 5 today, or at least in 7-day change. But you tell me, if you believe that Ethereum dominance for stablecoins will decrease over the next 5 years, which I do believe that, while they still continue to do great at a slower rate of growth, I think dominance is going down. How many ways can I say it? But if you believe that, you tell me down below which chains you believe in and based on what. Link down below. Check it out. Like always, see you tomorrow.